Hello, everybody. Welcome to Just Listen to One podcast. I am super excited for you guys to listen to today's episode because I'm going to talk about one of the most famous people, Oprah. So let's just get into this episode. She was born January 29th, 1954, so that makes her in her early 70s. She's known for the Oprah Winfrey show. I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I'm so sorry. But she's known for her talk show. Her height is 5'7". So I'm going to talk a little bit about her childhood. Oprah was born to Vernita Lee and Vernon on an isolated farm in Mississippi on January 29th, 1954. Her name was supposedly to be Oprah from the Bible, yet because of the difficulty of spelling and how to pronounce it, she was known as Oprah almost from birth. Oprah's parents unmarried and separated soon after she was born, and left her in the care of her grandmother on the farm. As a child, Oprah entertained herself by playing acting in front of her audience, which was of the farm animals. Under the strict guidance of her grandmother, she learned how to read at the age of 2.5. She addressed her church congregation about when Jesus rose on Easter Day when she was only 2 years old. When Oprah skipped kindergarten after writing a note to her teacher on the first day of school saying that she belonged to first grade, and she was promoted to third grade after that year. At the age of 6 years old, she went to north to join her mother and her two half-brothers in Malawi Ghetto, an extremely poor and very dangerous neighborhood. At the age of 12 years old, she sent to live with her father in Nashville, Tennessee. She felt her feelings secured and happy for a brief period, began making speeches at social gatherings and churches, and one time she earned $500 for a speech. She knew then at that time she wanted to get paid to talk. Oprah again was called back by her mother, and she had to leave the safety of her father's home. The poor urban lifestyle had a negative effect on Oprah as a young teenager, and her problems were compounded by repeated sexual abuse, just starting at the age of 9, by men that others in her family trusted. Her mother worked odd jobs and did not have much time of supervision. And of course, there was a turning point in her life. Oprah said her father had saved her life. He was very strict and provided her guidance, structure, and rules and books. He required his daughter to complete weekly book reports, and she went without dinner until she learned at least 5 new words each day and the meaning of each word. Oprah became an excellent student, and she participated as well in the drama club, debate club, and the student council. In Elks Club speaking contest, she won a full scholarship to Tennessee University. The following year, she was invited to a White House conference on youth. Whitney was crowned Miss Fire Prevention by the WVOL, a local Nashville radio station, and was hired by the station to read the afternoon newscast. Whitney became Miss Girl Nashville and Miss Tennessee during her freshman year at the state of Tennessee. The Nashville Columbia broadcast system, as well, it's also known as CBS, Oliphant offered her a job, and Oprah, she turned it down twice, yet finally took the advice of her speech teacher, who reminded her that jobs offered from CBS were the reason people go to college. The show was seen each evening on the WTVF TV, and Oprah was Nashville's first African-American female on there of the evening news. She was 19 years old and still a sophomore in college. And a little bit more about her professional career in her life. After Oprah graduated, WJZ-TV in Baltimore and Maryland scheduled her to do the local update news called cut-ins during Good Morning America, and soon as she was moved to the morning talk show Baltimore is Talking with the co-host Richard Scher. After 7 years on the show, the general manager of the WLS-TV American Broadcasting Company, as known as ABC, Chicago Oliphant saw Oprah in an audition tape sent by her producer, Deborah. At the time, her ratings in Baltimore were better than Phil D, a national talk host show that Deborah were hired. Oprah moved to Chicago in January 1984 and took over the AM Chicago, a morning talk show that was consistently last in the ratings. she changed the phrases to the show from traditional women's issues, current and controversial debatable topics, and after 1 month of the show, even with Phil's program, 3 months later had inches ahead. In September 1985, the program renamed the Oprah Winfrey Show was expanded to an hour. As a result, Phil moved to New York City, and in 1985, Quincy Jones saw Oprah on television and saw she would make a fine actress in a movie he was co-producing with a director, Steven Spielberg. The film was based on the Alison Walker novel, The Color Purple, Other only acting experience until then had been in a one-woman show called The History of Black Women Through Drama and Song, which she performed during an African American theater festival in 1978. And here's a little bit of the popularity of Oprah. The popularity of Oprah was skyrocketed after the successful of The Color Purple. In September of 1985, the distributor King World bought the rights to distribute a television program to air the program on 138 cities, a record for the first time thing. That year, although Phil was being aired on 200 stations, Oprah won her first slot by 31%, drew twice the Chicago audience, Phil, and carried the top market in the United States. In 1986, Oprah received a special award from the Chicago Academy for the Arts of unique contributions to the city's artistic community and was named Woman of Achievement by the National Organization of Women. The Oprah Winfrey Show won multiple Emmys for the Best Talk Show, and Oprah was honored as Best Talk Show Host. And a little bit about the production. Oprah formed her own production company, the Harpo Inc., in August 1986 to produce the topics that she wanted to produce, including the television drama series based on Gloria Naylor's and The Women's of Brewster's Place, in which Oprah was featured along with Cicely Tyson, Robin Givens, Olivia Cole, and so much more. The miniseries aired in March 1989, and a regular series called Brewster's Place, which also starring Oprah, debuted on ABC in May 1980. Oprah also owned the screen rights to Kaffir boy Mark Mathabin's autobiographical having to do with the story about oneself, book about growing under the apartheid of South America, as well as Toni Morrison's novel Beloved. In September 1996, Oprah started an on-air reading club. On September 17th, Oprah stood up and announced she wanted to get the country reading. She told her adoring fans hesitant to the stores buy the book she had chosen. They would then discuss it together on air the following month. The entitled reaction was astonishing. The deep end of the ocean had garnered significant sales for a first novel. 68,000 copies had gone into the stores since June. But between the last week of August, when Oprah told her plans to the producers, and the September on-air announcement, Vikings printed 90,000 more. By the time the discussion was broadcasted on October 18th, there were 750,000 copies printed. The book became the #1 bestseller, and another 100,000 were printed before February in 1997. The club ensured Oprah as the most powerful bookmaker in the United States. She sent more people to bookstores than the morning news programs, other daytime shows, evening magazines, radio shows, print reviews, and featured articles combined. But after a 6-year run with her book club, Oprah decided to cut back into the spring of 2002 and no longer have the book club as a monthly feature as of right now. That is it for this podcast. If you guys enjoyed, let me know in the comments. And if you guys have any ideas that you guys would like to see or hear in my podcast, let me know in the comments. I would appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next podcast. Bye.